Welcome to the Wicked Gamer and Collector. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So, today's video we are going to talk about the Pandora 9H. This is the game console version. Yes, we have different versions. Maybe in the future I will make some other videos. But in this video we are going to focus on the game system. Alright, so if you're new to the channel and never heard about the Pandora Box, for example, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, because come on, become one of the Wicked family and don't miss out any Wicked videos. Alright, so let's do an overview. What are we going to get? So let's start with the controllers itself. So the controllers are two versions that you're going to get, but you're going to need the red one. And the reason why is very simple. Not because of the form factor, but because of the extra buttons we're having here. We're going to use the pause button, and in this case, if I'm correct, these can be mapped to the settings. So you don't need to get out of your chair. It depends a little bit what kind of version you buy. We're going to test it with the system, just to see what they mapped. But especially the pause button. If you don't have this return button, it's going to be annoying because you need to reboot the system every time. Here we have the basic PlayStation 2 ripoff. It's just a controller you can expect for the money. It's a ripoff, so it does play pretty decent, but it's not perfect, for example with the D-pad. But this thing, I did some reviews about it, but oh, this thing is really bad. The form factor is nice, so the comfort of this controller is very good, but in overall it's horrible. Alright, so this is what we're going to get. It comes with a very long HDMI cable. We're having the cable. This is very important that you order the right one, otherwise you need to buy an extra one separately. And we're having the power supply in this very nice plastic bag. This is just a basic 12 volt 3 amp. This is the basic power supply you're going to get with all of these Pandora boxes, or most of the time. But alright, let's take a close look at the main board. So this is the game system itself. It's basically a Pandora box inside this all-star housing. I already did some reviews that have a similar casing, only you can see they added a little sticker over here, says 9H. So what I understand of the seller, this seems to be a cheaper model. How, when, what's the difference? There's something we need to find out while opening it. Alright, when turning it around, this is what you're going to get. We're having here the input for power, HDMI and VGA out. There was no VGA cable with mine. I think you will not use this very often when you're having this HDMI port. We're having an output for jack, so keep in mind you need to use both of these when you're using VGA. Here we have a little scrolling wheel for adjusting volume, and this is the setting button. And we're having two USB ports, and if I'm correct, you can use extra controllers, but it's very problematic and always very limited to, let's say, certain version of controllers. So you cannot just say I'm grabbing my Xbox 360 controller and just use this one. No, it's not that easy. And now I'm going to get myself a screwdriver because we're going to rip it apart. Yeah, rip it apart. Alright, so when we unscrew the 4 screws over here, you can just basically release it from the shell or the upper shell. So it's still, let's see if this one is screwed to the bottom shell or is it just loose. No, it seems to be this one has been clicked in as the other one. Alright, so this is what you're going to get. As you can see, we're having the SD card over here. Okay, we can add games. It's a very complex way to do it. Not very easy, a very, let's say, logic how you need to add games. But most of the time these things are too small to add new games. So basically you need to upgrade it to another one. But that's something for another video. As you can see, we're having this jumper over here. And the reason why they did this, they make the connection between the two pins for powering on. There are some different versions that I reviewed before that have this little micro switch with it. That is not the case with this one. So to be honest, I see here some extra ports. Never seen this port before on the main board like this. So this is what we're going to get. Right, 9H. Alright, so the EDA port, for people who are asking themselves, what is this? What's the point of this EDA port? Basically, when you're using this thing in a Pandora box itself, they connect the buttons on the EDA port. Alright. Enjoy your retro times. Yes, people, so this is what you're going to get when powering on the system. U-Disk have been recognized. Take some time to boot up, but this is what we're going to get. Alright, so I'm going to give you a small overview of the options this thing has. So the first list you're going to see here is the all list. Every game that is on this device will be shown in this list. This is the categorized. So, and just a quick note, if I'm looking at previous models I've reviewed, beside the layout, I did notice that, for example, this PSP list only having one single game. We're only having 3 PlayStation games. N64 list is also very small. We're having NES, Super NES, and we're having the Game Boys. And yes, I don't know why they're having this decal from Xbox 360 for the Mega Drive. But still, they have some games on this. We're having the PC Engine, but I can see the list is a little bit shorter than the previous models. This is Final Burn Alpha, but what is more like an epic fail, they have 2 lists for arcade. So this Final Burn Alpha containing, let's say, Neo Geo and Mame, but this list is basically the same, also containing Neo Geo Mame. So it's a little bit of a bummer that they did this. Right, okay, so there are some games booted up with this device, so you can see it over here. And here we have the search function. So let's see, I choose, of course, the Tekken games, but so, and as you can see, you can search. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go to the settings menu. Pressing the little button on the Pandora box. Key settings. What you can do over here is just doing the EO testing. But it's more if you have this mainboard inside, let's say an arcade cabinet, or if you want to use it in a Pandora box. Let's say with the gamepad settings, I'm going to show you here. You can see the single one I'm connected to the devices. You can see it over here. Alright, so gamepad utilize wizard. Here you can just give an overview what all the functions are. A little bit confusing with the decal of the Xbox. Here we have some extra settings for the coins. Auto exit can be shut down if you don't like this. Let's see, we have in select mode. The image optimization, we have an HD and scanline with this Pandora box. That is pretty unique if you ask me. Language, and let's see, we have no more. We have in burst settings. I'm guessing this is for turbo button. But what I did notice with this, it is more like a cheaper edition. I think what they're trying to say is not only the storage of the SD card, but it is also the option to have this store, because there are some Pandora boxes having an. Alright, so enough messing around, explaining about it. Let's test some games and let's see how they are running. A little thing, when you're scrolling very fast, you can see it gives you this extra option to say you press left or right to the next page, or press start to search. Never seen it before, by the way. Alright, so a quick note, what I did notice with all the other versions, we have a quick save and a quick load option, but there is a catch, yes, and a big one. This works with, let's say, a couple of 8-bit and 16-bit systems, not all of them, and if you're playing arcade games, it only works with Final Burn Alpha. So even in this Final Burn Alpha list, it works, the save function, doesn't matter what kind of game you choose, so far I know, but when you're choosing the Mame arcade games, you don't have this option. Again, epic fail. Alright, so this is what we're going to get with the Pandora 9H. So, what do I mean with this? It's very simple. So, if I compare this with other systems, there are quite some differences. Even with the label, if you look at the menu, the background, there are some smaller minor differences. But if you look at the collection that you're going to get, there's where we're going to get the bigger difference. And the main board is totally different. Not only the color is different, but the Wi-Fi store is not available, for example. And there is the question, of course, can we add more games? And does it support games like Dreamcast? Because I know there are some versions like this, like the Pandora game 3D. Also different versions. Yeah, let's keep it easy. And it's very complex, but most of the time this is what you're going to get. And adding PSP games and 64 will not be a big of a deal, but I'm guessing when you're adding PlayStation 1 that can be a little bit of a problem. And of course Dreamcast, again, I don't know if it's supported. So the controller itself, it's the common controller nowadays. I hope they will improve or give us a better controller about this thing. The D-pad, it plays horrible and makes a lot of games impossible to play. The analog stick are not supported with every, let's say, platform, so that's also a big problem. So this is what you're going to get. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell for more awesome Wicked content, and become one of the Wicked family. And I hope to see you in the next video.